Lum, lum, bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-da-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-da-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-ba-dum. Dun 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 bum ba da ba dun 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 ba dun 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 dun. Hi, hello, my mighties. You're looking good. I see my friends. It's so wonderful to see Junette and Leanne. Hi, Cheyenne from Santa Fe, Barbara. It's so wonderful to see everyone. And here come the Facebook livers. So good to see everyone. I saw Harry earlier. Yes, hi, Harry. Here we go. Harry from Pennsylvania. Joe can still hit the high notes. Oh, you think those are high? Yeah, I know. We do have to be careful with that. As we age, our voice gets lower and lower. So, all right. For those of you who don't know, my name is Joette Calabrese, and every Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, we meet so that we can talk about one thing and one thing only, and that's homeopathy. Well, we kind of skirt around the edges every once in a while and also talk a little bit about or insinuating about politics too, because it's all related. But that's what we do, and that's who I am. I've been doing this for a long time, and I love meeting you here. I love these Monday nights. It. I said it before. It nourishes me. I just love it. So, for those of you who do know me, hi. So good. Now we finished my Materia Medica, didn't we? It doesn't mean we can't go back through it because we will probably be adding things here and there. But this is my Materia Medica. It's a quick reference, easy for families to use very quickly. It is. I watched somebody say something about, is this the only Materia Medica that you own? No, 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 no. You need to own lots of Materia Medicas. They all have a different bit of information in them for you to learn from. And so I have my, oh my goodness, my poor sad little desktop guide. It's already been, look at how badly it's beat up. It's already been rebound twice and it's still an absolute mess. And this is why, because I write all my notes in it. I've done this for 30 some years. That's the way my books, most of my books look like this because, you learn something, you want to keep it organized, and that's what I do. And so then I also love this Materia Medica. Love, 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 love. Boraki, William Boraki. I love this particular one. This is by it's printed by Narayana Publishers in Germany. It was actually, they gifted it to me and I love it. It's leather bound, it's got a ribbon, and it's very portable. And it not only is a Materia Medica, but it has a repertory in the back. Oh, I could keep going. Robin Murphy's Materia Medica, excellent, excellent book. Lots of good Materia Medicas out there. So today, instead of talking about a specific medicine, homeopathic medicine, what we're going to do instead is talk about a particular condition. And I'm going to show you how to look this up. Let's say you didn't know what to do. I mean, I have it in my survivalist guide. Can you see my survivalist guide? I'm doing this backwards. Survivalist guide. I've got 3 of them right there. And so I do talk about burns and what to do, especially when they're quite severe. But I have to tell you that what if you didn't have that? What if you didn't know what to do? And what if it was a steam burn, or it was a chemical burn, or it was a sunburn, or it was a burn that was blistering? What would you do? You need to know this, right? Especially with summer coming up now. We certainly need to know how to deal with sunburns. So let's talk about that. First thing that I'm going to teach you is there is one big fat remedy that is extremely valuable, and I know that those of you who are in my classes, those of you who are in the academy, you already know this, but I'm going to reiterate it because it's always good to hear things second, two, and three times. Yes, Noreen and Pam. You got it. Linda, you got it. Cantharis. You are absolutely right. Um, oh, come on. Donna from Ocean Ridge in my neighborhood. Someday I'm going to have to meet you, Donna. I just know that it's going to happen. So on the beach, we'll meet on the beach on Sundays. That's the only day I ever get to the beach is for an hour or two on Sundays. And we do have to think about burns on that beach, right? Because the sun is scorching. So the remedy is the number one remedy that we think of for an actual burn itself is cantharis. You're absolutely right. Cantharis. We can use cantharis. Cantharis is excellent medicine for burns and for pains that feel like burns. We can even use cantharis, my friends, for urinary tract infections, particularly urinary tract infections that have a burning aspect to them. So it's one of our best urinary tract infection remedies as well. So now remember that bridge. That's a good bridge for you to know so that you will not forget it. Now, what's interesting is if this burn is pretty severe, burns are really super traumatic. But if it's traumatic, we're going to use another medicine. Another medicine that we use for any time everything is just fine, it's hunky dory, everything is good, and then bam, a burn, really severe. So, anybody have any ideas? I know many of you know this medicine. It's one of our best medicines for everything's fine, and all of a sudden everything is horrible. It's like a shock to the system. Good. I'm going to talk about that, Linda. You're really close to that. That is, and it is a remedy that is for quick onset. Yes, belladonna is definitely for the aconitum. Thank you very much. Aconite. You're getting it. But belladonna is not wrong. Aconite. Belladonna is just a slightly different. We're going to move just slightly off the center. Aconite, you got it. And aconite 200. I'll tell you, I wouldn't bother with anything but aconite 200. Why bother with a 30? 1M I don't think is necessary. I see that aconite 200 works almost every time. So when somebody has a kind of a shocking event, they could be in shock on the way to the hospital, we can administer aconitum. Aconite is the shortened word for it. Aconite 200C. On the way, you're going to put the pellets in the mouth and then wait a few minutes or just a few minutes, and then you might indeed give cantharis 200. Back to aconite 200 in a few minutes, depending. I'm assuming that we're rushing to the hospital, okay? And you know how I feel about hospitals. There is a time and a place. The emergency room can be a very valuable place if you truly, truly need it. As I always say, if I get hit by a Zamboni and I'm flattened, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're with me, take me to the emergency room because I'm going to have my arms put back on again. My legs are going to be flattened. My body's going to be flat. I'm going to need some help. But if you find that on the way to the hospital, many of you have heard me say this. If you find that on the way to the hospital that things are moving along and the pain's not so great and the person's shoulders are dropping down, they're feeling a little less worried. They're not as frightened. They're not panicking. It doesn't look so good, that burn, but you know what? It's just not. So you go to the emergency room or you go to the hospital and you park right in front of the emergency room. Real close. And then if you think that things are turning around, because it can happen that fast with homeopathy, my friends. Yes, it can happen that quickly. Someone can get better from homeopathic medicines within minutes if it's very severe like this. So you get to the hospital, you park, and you see that that's where the door is, just in case. Just in case. And then you sit in the car and you're administering the homeopathic medicines because, of course, you've got your kit with you. And you're listening to music. Maybe you've got some almonds in the glove compartment. You always have a bottle of water. If you live in cold weather, you've got a blanket, maybe a couple of candles, and you take it easy and see how things go. If you need the emergency room, it's right there. There's no commitment that says that just because you drove into the parking lot that you must go into that emergency room. Because I'm going to tell you that if you don't need their help, your going to be stuck there for a long time. If you do need their help, you may still be stuck there for a long time. So play it by ear, see how things go. Okay, now let's say we've used aconitum because it's a very severe burn, and we're using cantharis. We're using both. Yes, we're alternating them. If it's very severe, you're going to alternate them every, say, 15 minutes for the first hour. And then after that, maybe every 3 hours. And you're going to play it by ear. You're going to always be looking for that tipping point. How often should this person be given this medicine? You'll see. Because if you give the aconitum, and it's still painful, but they're calming down, and then you give the cantharis, and now the pain, maybe not the first dose, maybe not the second dose, maybe by the third dose of cantharis, things start to become a little more subdued. And you see that they're moving along, and you see that as long as you give it about every 15 minutes, they seem to be doing a little better. And so then you push it out. 15 minutes work. Let's try 30 minutes. Let's see if we it's coming back. It's so horrible. And it's 30 minutes later. Now you know it's every 30 minutes that should be administered. Just like if you were going to be using a painkiller. And it is a painkiller. Oh, but so much more. We don't treat symptoms with homeopathy. We use symptoms. We use what they give us. The pain indicates. We use what they give us to determine what medicines to use. You bet. Oh, hi, Kathy. Haven't seen you in a long time. Nice to see you here. Okay, but there are other medicines besides aconitum and cantharis. Another medicine is urtica urens. Urtica urens, another very, very good medicine. Oh, here we go. Kathy says, I splattered hot grease on my hand. The pain went from a 10 to a 1 in about 15 minutes. By the next day, it looked like a week-old injury, and it never scarred. I learned about these remedies in Gateway to Homeopathy. Yes, thank you very much. And Kathy, if you're still teaching gateways, we would love to have you take on some new people in your gateway classes, because that's how people learn. Burnt my hand, use cantharis, alternate with urticurins, and within an hour, no pain, no blisters ever formed, and they should have. Was yes, 11 years ago. I didn't know about this. This was Jennifer. The other one was just Leanne. He had an ischemic stroke, and medical, I can't read so quickly because it's kind of moving, could do nothing for him. Sunday morning, he woke up with a weird headache and whole body putting on his left side. My mom, as soon as possible, gave him aconite, arnica 30, and then ran to get causticum, and it stopped. My friends, this is the medicine that's been kept from us. Do you know that? Do you know that there's been a concerted political, financial reason for homeopathy not being known by people? Did you know that we had 100 homeopathic hospitals in the United States? You bet. At one time, up until about the 1940s, and meanwhile, conventional hospitals numbered only in about 96. Yes, every large city in this country had at least one homeopathic hospital. And in my hometown of Buffalo, New York, we had three. One of them was the stalwart of all hospitals. It had a big circle in front of it, and all the traffic went around with a beautiful fountain and flowers and gorgeous. And I was actually born in that hospital, but it was before it was called Buffalo Homeopathic Hospital, and I was born in it just a few years later after they changed the name and changed the whole paradigm to Millard Fillmore Hospital. Okay, this is what I want to show you today. I want you to know how to do this. Should you not know what to do, this is Robin Murphy's repertory. You see this book? Meta Repertory. This is the fourth edition by Robin Murphy, ND. And it's a thick book. You can buy it. Where can we buy it? Maybe Amazon. I hate to send people to Amazon, but as a last resort. And you can also buy it directly from Robin Murphy's site, which is Lotus, Lotus, Lotus School of Homeopathy, I believe, or Lotus Homeopathy, something like that. I heard that they were not responding lately because Robin Murphy recently passed away. So let me just see what Mindy says. I was just talking to my study group, Mountain Mamas, this morning about how angry I got this week when I thought about how much unnecessary has because those who keep trying to bury homeopathy. Oh, yes, it's a concerted effort. If you go on uh, um, Google, if you just use a regular search engine, or if you go to Wikipedia and you write something in there about homeopathy that's rather positive, I guarantee within minutes, my friends, it's been tested many, many times over the many years. Within minutes, it will be changed back to something derogatory. It is an effort that is very, very specific. And it's not just homeopathy, it's about lots of issues, chiropractic and all kinds of alternative medicine, and anyone who questions the status quo. Okay, so in this book, I'm looking under the section called clinical or generals. I'm just going to show you the top of the page. You see clinical there, clinical generals. And then you see where it says burns. You see all those remedies that we can use for burns? Do you see all those choices? Ailments from burns. Ailments, burns from fire, from chemicals, etc. Aconitum, you see ACON right there? Do you see that? Do you see cantharis is underlined, CANTH? You bet, my friends. Urtica urns down at the bottom to the left a little bit. But now look at other arsenicum, calendula, causticum, hemamelis. I'm reading the ones that are bold. Lachesis, etc. Calendula. That's the other one I want you to know about. Calendula. Because calendula can be used in homeopathic formula, but it can also be used in a mother tincture. And I love, love, love mother tinctures. Mother tincture means it's still botanical. It's an herbal. And so once there's an injury, we can then get the botanical. We can get the calendula mother tincture in a bottle like this, in an amber bottle. Dilute as long as it's 100% alcohol and calendula. We dilute it 1 to 20. So that means 1 drop or 1 teaspoon. Let's call it that. 1 teaspoon of calendula to 19 drops of pure water. Now you've got something that you can pour directly onto the wound, and you can also, if there's if a bandage is put on there, then you can soak the bandage with calendula so that it's the dressing is if it's going to touch, and we rather that it didn't, but if it's going to touch, then you bet it's going to be calendula daisies. It's yes, calendula is a pot marigold, and you can grow it yourself. I used to grow it for years. And so but it's a specific kind. It is Calendula officinalis. It's not, you don't want hybrid. You don't want something that's been fiddled with. You want the officinalis, the actual plant that does the good work. And then you pop off the flowers. You can make your own tincture with that, but you can also buy it online. I like Richter's. They're out of Canada. I like Herb Farm, spelled PHARM, Herb Farm. Who else do we like? I like Gaia, GAIA. Those are all good companies. At least the last I looked, they were good. You never know what happens to companies because they get bought out and then Colgate buys them or something. Okay. I grow it too, says Dolly. I hope to get enough flowers this year to soak in oil and make soap. I've done that myself. I've made a lot of things with calendula. It's a wonderful hobby to have, my friends. Dorothy Shepard has incredible stories about calendula. Absolutely. Dr. Dorothy Shepard was a medical doctor in England who was a conventional medical doctor and then turned homeopathic medical doctor. Okay, this is interesting. Laura from Oz says Hypericum and calendula were wonderful for healing scald burn on my 6-month baby. It was a terrible burn and required years of compression bandages, etc. But Rescue Remedy was the only pain relief we used. Yes, and Hypericum is also very, very good for pain as well. Now we don't have, we do have Hypericum in here in this rubric under burns. But look at the other choices you have. Should these medicines not act properly? Look at your other choices. And then we can go down. You'll see these sub rubrics. Oh, on this hand right here. I'm going to go down and read them to you because I want you to, what if it's from chemicals? Now, I have used cantharis for chemical burns, and I found it to be very useful. But in this, and cantharis is in here, but causticum is actually more readily used. I actually have a friend who was working at an art installation, a booth outside, and it was very, very hot. And she was perspiring heavily, and she was very busy and didn't have a chance to go into the far distant ladies' room and wash up again. And so, just to kind of freshen up a little bit, she thought she would use these pads and wipe under her arms. Well, the pads turned out to be Clorox. Clorox. What's that product called? Clorox something wipes. You're going to know what I'm talking about. And she rubbed them under her arms just to kind of freshen up a bit. And she said the burn that she got from those Clorox pads was so severe that she was crying by the time she got home. So she contacted me, and I said, Cantharis. And she said, oh my gosh, she called me back. I can't believe it. Yes, bleach wipes. Yes, absolutely. The Clorox bleach wipes. Terrible, terrible. I don't think she realized at the time how bad it was, or how bad this could be from that product. But in such a delicate area, that's can be pretty. Corny and burns after diarrhea. If the diarrhea is chronic and then there's a burn, isn't that interesting? How about extensive burn? Cantharis, calendula. How about burns that fail to heal? Calendula. Cause arsenicum. Arsenicum is also very valuable. Acid, spectrum carbonic. Oh, if the burn has been settled in and has caused now of gangrene, threatening gangrene from ailments from burns, arsenicum, crotalus horridus, plumbum, and sacchalicor. But arsenicum is very good remedy to think about when we consider um, um, gangrene. There are others too. I would consider pyrogenium. I would consider um, gunpowder. Pyrogenium is excellent. Burns from nettles. How about that? Burns from nettles. Oh, I'm so sorry. My voice is getting choppy. Audio is spotty. I don't know why. I'm so sorry. Breaking up badly. The J is showing up on the screen. Um, I'll just continue on. I'm hoping that it'll be better if you watch it tomorrow. I'm hoping that I'll just repeat myself. Burns from nettles, urtica urens. Isn't that interesting? Because nettles um, um, cause often cause burns or hives and stinging. So urtica urens is the one. Um, Now this is interesting. Painful burn. Oh, there are only two medicines when it says painful burn, and it's cantharis in bold and carbolic acid. How about radiation burns, my friends? I've talked about this on this blog. Calc floor, calendula. If you don't have this book, you might want to jot this down. These are writer downers. Okay, burns from radiation: calc floor, calendula, fluoric acid, phosphorus, radium bromatum, sol, which is one of the important ones, and the remedy called X-ray. Oh, beautiful. From scars. Oh, how about from shock? Yeah. Cantharis again. Sunburn. Let's go to sunburn because everybody is talking about that now. I've been seeing a couple sunburn issues coming along. Sunburn. Cantharis. And earlier, I think it was Lynn who said belladonna. Belladonna is a great medicine for when something is red and hot and very painful, and also for burns. So we can use, if we're using cantharis and let's say aconitum because it was extreme and it was a little on the shocky side, we can also add belladonna into the mix and we can alternate all three of them every 15 minutes. But the main medicine that Robin Murphy includes in this repertory of his for sunburn, ailments from sunburn, is Sol, SOL, underlined. Underline meaning it is the most important medicine. So good. So good. Let's look. Oh, you can hear me all right now. And okay, almost lost my feet to gangrene. Finally, doctor said to soak in black tea. Astringency pulled out the infection. No pharmaceuticals would work. Thank God in those days the doctor could tell my mother that. Yeah, the doctors could talk about those things these days. They're muzzled now. Aren't they muzzled? For all of these, what potency? I would use a 200. Arnica 30. Yes, you can use arnica in water. Yes, in a spray bottle and spray it on. Absolutely. That's another great way to use it. Cantharis 200C, yes. But if all you've got is 200X, use that, my friends. It's very close. Remind me again when you alternate as you do all remedies within the window, or do you do one medicine per unit of time? You could do it either way. If it's very extreme, you're going to do a medicine and then a few minutes later, the next medicine. And then 15 minutes later, you're going to do the first medicine and then close together the second medicine. And then if it's very severe, if it's not that severe and you want to kind of get a feel for what's happening, which medicine is acting best, then you start with one medicine, wait 15 minutes, use that next medicine. Wait 15 minutes, go back to the first medicine, etc. Soul is spelled SOL. Yes, my friends. Yes, it's good stuff. I have a client that I worked with through on and off throughout the years, and she is very, very sensitive to the sun. Now, I know you're not going to believe this, but people are like this. There are all different kinds of conditions, my friends, and um, she is so sensitive, or was so sensitive, that when she left the house to go out into the car, if she didn't wear a hat and cover her hands, she would get a sunburn. And the car was only right there, on the street, right in front of her, or on the driveway. And so she would get a sunburn and it would hurt. It would be tender and hurt. Um, and no matter how careful she was not able to get past that. We used Sol 200 and it ended in short order, I might add. And then after stopping using it for a while. She didn't use it for years. She only used it for a short period of time. I don't remember, maybe a couple of weeks or so. Then it ended. The burn stopped. We stopped using the Sol, and a few months later, maybe 6 months or so, it started to happen again. What do? Do we say, oh no, homeopathy doesn't work? No. Instead, like she did, she said, I guess it's time to use it again. Yes. Yes. All righty. Let's see if we have any other good questions here. I wonder if it would help with melanoma. No, it's a whole different remedy for melanomas. Murphy describes a case of skin cancer with Sol. Interesting. Thank you, Mindy. That may indeed be useful. That's not what I think of. But Murphy with it, then although I just said it's not my first thought, I would use other medicines. But yes, I think it could be. The thing is, you see, I think too much is blamed on the sun. And so I think we have to be careful with that. Oh, yeah, well, you were in the sun too long. Yeah, but the spot is on the palm of my hands, or it's on the bottom of my foot. How did I don't get sunburn on the bottom of my foot? I actually think we need more sun. I think it just needs to be judicious, and we need to not traumatize the skin. So how do you know you're traumatizing? Well, you know because you've been out in the sun too long. Now I have a tan. I think you can probably see it. You can see my hands are a little brown. I'm in the sun every single Sunday, and probably for 2 hours. Sometimes only 1 hour. Yesterday was only not even half an hour. I just didn't have the time. But other times, during in the middle of the day, between appointments, between recordings, I often sit in the hot Florida sun to get just a few minutes because I think it is so good for us. And I do not use sunscreen. No, no sunscreen. You understand that? No sunscreen. No. Wear a hat if you're worried about it. Stay out for a shorter period of time if you're worried about it. Sunscreen, do you ever read the directions or the ingredients in sunscreen? If you can't squeeze it out and then lick it off your hand, if you wouldn't do that, then don't put it on your skin. Do not use sunscreen. Very bad stuff. Instead, be judicious. I grew up, we are a Sicilian family growing up in Buffalo, New York, and my neighborhood was mostly Irish. All my friends were very light skinned, very light, freckles, light hair, reddish hair, blonde hair, and you know what they did? I'm talking about the 50s, the 60s. You know what they did so as not to burn? They'd wear gauze-like clothing. They'd wear a light top, a light dress. They'd wear a hat. They'd sit in the shade. They were smart. It's called critical thinking. They didn't slather chemicals on their skin and hope that it was going to make them or keep them healthy. All righty, my friends, it is time. We have to go. I love you all. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for trusting my information. And so, with that, I say if you're interested in joining a gateway to homeopathy, a study group, by all means, contact my office, email my website. You can call, you can email, ask for some help or some direction if it doesn't make sense to you as to how to either start a study group, and they are often online in God bless all of you. Mwah! Thank you for joining me tonight, and I will see you next day.